When we start to administer the Flynt-Cooter, we need to find out what level of passages that reading passages we're going to give the student. So how do we do that? How do we determine what level of passages? So there are several ways that one can do this. In our school, we use other forms of assessments. So we can use the LSDK, which has the Don word test in it. We also use the WFUS, which has the word reading subtest in it, and we can find out the word reading scores for the students based on that. And then we can provide them with a selection of passages based on the grade they've achieved on those tests. We want to try to get as much information as we can, as quickly as we can. So I really want to be reducing the number of tests that I'm subjecting a kid to. Now, in our school, we've already, we've either done the Don word test or we've done the WFUS test already. So why not use the results of that? Another way that you can select the passages is actually use the Flynt-Cooter manual itself. So in the Flynt-Cooter manual, at the beginning of each of the sets of forms, you have a set of sentences, and you provide the student with the reading level based on how well they did on these sentences. So if they made, for example, less than 2 errors in the level 3 sentences, then you'd give them the level 3 and so on. Okay, so as I said, there's a set of these sentences at the beginnings of the narrative passages and also the expository passages.
Hey Josh, thanks for reading with me today. You've chosen The Long Night to read, and as we discussed, I'm going to record you. And if you come across any words that you don't know, just guess and keep going. And I'm just going to make some notes on the sign as you're reading. So we're going to write your name and the date at the top so I know when you did it. And whenever you're ready to start, go ahead.
A long night. I arrived late at the New Orleans International Airport because of a delay in St. Louis. The night was the screening and on the Crescent City as I entered the cab for the short ride to the city center. As the cab headed towards the city.
Thanks, Josh. I think we have enough information about this story. So I think I'm going to get you to read this story next. And so whenever you're ready, you can go ahead. So I'm just going to put your name up top and the date so we know when you read it. And it's the same as the other story. So if you come across a word that you don't know, just guess and just keep going. So whenever you're ready.
Flying flowers, right? There are many kinds of insects. There are big ones, little ones, ugly ones, biting ones, and helpful ones. But there is one kind of insect that most people agree is the most beautiful one. This insect is often called the flying flower. It is a beautiful butterfly, Butterflies are insects that have 2 pairs of wings. The wings are covered with tiny scales. The scales are different colors. These scales give the butterfly its beautiful color. butterflies smell and hear by using their long, thick antennas. Yeah. Butterflies can bite or chew. They use long tubes like tongues to get at the food they eat from flowers. Butterflies begin as eggs. Then they hatch into caterpillars. A caterpillar from hard skin. When they finally break out of the hard skin, they are beautiful or butterflies with colors, wings. Adult butterflies must lay eggs soon. They do not live very long. Butterflies and moths are different. Butterflies like the day, moths like the night. Moths are not as colorful, as beautiful, colorful as butterflies. Butterflies I'm not sure what that is. Yeah. Are suddenly with moths tend to have large, fat, yeah, I'm still not sure what that. Moths from cocoons before turning into yeah, I'm not sure. Insects. Most butterflies do not come from cocoons.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was clear within a few sentences, as he started to read this passage, that he was really struggling.
Yeah.
And so what you did was the way to go. You did not, watch this child painfully try to get through this passage. It's just, not necessary, and it's not
Right.
helpful.
No.
So as soon as you realized that this was way too difficult for him, you realized this was the time to stop the actual test. You thanked him and you asked him to read another piece. And you had to make a judgment at that point on the fly. It was like, do I drop down to a grade 8 piece? This is a grade 9. Or is it evident that the student is struggling so painfully over this that I need to really get down far enough that I can find out what's going on? And you jump down to the flying flowers passage,
Yeah.
which he was able to handle much better. You could see his fluency. He came to visibly relax, and there was a fluency level that
That wasn't here.
you could evident, right, that you could not see in this piece.
Yeah.
So that's basically what you do. If you have to use your professional judgment, regardless of what the word reading subtest has shown you,
Right.
when you are listening to the student, you are going to make a quick decision. I'm going to stop this because it's just painful. And I'm going to quickly come up with rather than having them go through each individual passage, 9 and then 8 and then 7, you're not going to do that. It's too long and demanding. You're going to make a jump either downwards or upwards. Supposing this kid was doing, flew through this, it was amazing, like no errors, clearly there was no problems here.
Right.
You're not going to waste your time or his time or the student's time. But when the student is clearly struggling and this passage is too difficult, you are going to have to make a quick decision because you don't want to go through 10 more passages. And that was the decision that you made to go down to that level 3 passage. and now you're able to find out what his strengths are. And from listening to this student has a lot of strengths. So we're going to look at all the strengths that he has, and we're going to build on those strengths to turn, you know, this page and make sure that within a very short period of time that this student's reading proficiency has improved significantly.
Good.
Later on, you're going to be listening to this recording of the read as many times as necessary to find out what the student's strengths are, where their gaps are, and just to get a sense of what needs to be done in order to help this student.